Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
December 8th, 1:46 a.m. Researcher and principal psychometric subject about to embark on sexual experiment number 517A. Hopefully, we will be opening up a channel to Neil Gallagher. Experiment may utilize various sexual aids and certain assorted apparatus. Descriptions to follow.
This is episode 248, recorded December 14th, 2023.
Gruesome Magazine.
Yes, folks, there'll be descriptions later. No. My name is Jeff Mohr, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-hosts Bill Mulligan, Crystal Cleveland, and Chad Hunt, and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. Joining me tonight is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl, and co-host of the Gruesome Magazine podcast. How you doing, Crystal?
I'm doing great. What was that? Were you pointing at me?
He's pointing at you like nobody would know Crystal.
Yeah. Which one is the Living Dead Girl?
Which one is the female here?
That's why I was like, what?
Doc always makes it puts them in the spotlight, and that's too much.
Yeah, I think that it's good to
Activity
just
for
be able
me.
to see us all, like, so we can see what we really like, what faces we're making when everyone else is talking. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're not,
no.
or when we're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Also joining us is Chad Hunt, comic book artist, co-host of
It's
wait,
Merry
how you doing,
Christmas,
Crystal?
right? It's
Yes.
Merry Christmas, right? It's Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so sorry. Yeah, Merry Christmas.
In fact,
Ho, ho, ho.
this episode will go live on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's the
Unless-
greatest present of all.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shut down on Christmas or something. But anyway,
Yee.
so like we said, I got my Krampus sweater on. I just got from my daughter-in-law.
Nice.
Because folks like me
Sweet.
always open the packages when they come, not when Christmas.
Oh, I do too. If they're not going to be here, then that means that's free reign.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
self-control.
Yeah, I don't know. No. Mm-mm. And then you can judge whether your gift is good enough to measure up to their gift. And then if you have to
Then you can
I
run
do
off to
that. I'm
Walmart.
like, oh God.
Just give it back to him and say, "Oh, I got you the same thing by accident."
It's like the gift of the Magi. Yeah.
I don't wear a 4X.
You know, I'll take that. You got a 4X? I don't know. Something over here. My brother gave us a charcuterie board when we got
Oh, it's charcuterie.
married. Charcuterie board, however, whatever you say it.
Yeah.
Shark
Good.
The glass
That's
one.
yummy.
Real nice one. Real nice one. Long before I knew what the hell they were, I just thought it was a meat and cheese board,
yeah.
and crackers. But
Place
so my
for my
wife, when he
cheese.
gets married last year, she wanted to give it back to him.
With the same cheese? I think it's gone bad.
Well, it
by
didn't have
now.
anything in it. It was the
Oh.
board. It was
Oh.
a serving dish. And I'm like, you can't do that. Oh, he won't remember. And I'm like, God. I'm not
He
doing
remembered.
that.
Did
So
he?
instead, we didn't buy anything. So,
Oh, well.
See, I love giving gifts when
We're
I,
like that. We're like
mean,
Yeah.
I do.
Also joining us is Chad Hunt, comic book artist, co-host of Decades Before the Classic Era and Decades Before the 1970s. Chad, how are you?
Hunt. Oh,
I'm good. Is it really me though? I mean,
I don't know.
If
There's
I
no
was
way to
a-
know.
perfect imitation.
I was going to draw lines here, but you wouldn't be able to see them with my beard anyway. So,
What?
like
like a puppet.
marionette's mouth.
Okay. I
Oh.
was like, what? Oh,
Oh, anyway, glad you're here, Chad.
Thank you.
And last,
Oh,
but not
here we
least-
go. Look at this. She is so prepared.
I was gonna wait and like bring him out
Oh,
later,
cool.
like
Nice.
I was
Last,
talking about.
last but not least, Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, co-host of Decades of Horror of the 1970s, all-around nice guy, and
wow. Why do I forget this every time? And published author of Ram, A Tale of Terror, Demons, Lawyers, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
excellent.
You know how we could tell if it was the real Chad would be when it's time to do the taglines. If he's like, "Yeah, I can't wait," we're like, "Ah!" Pod person. Yeah.
All right. Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
That's us.
Partners with Play Now Media, who has a bajillion streaming channels, or a half a bajillion anyway. And all three of the Decades of Horror podcasts, you can view those on some of their channels. In particular, Decades of Horror of the 1980s is on the Wicked Horror TV channel. So check that out. Lots of good variety, some stuff you can't find anyplace else. And yeehaw. It's
Yeah.
I put it on during the day and I find something and start playing it. And
Put us on instead of a Yule log.
yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or movies you haven't seen. But yeah, put us on. That's good.
Either
Thank
way,
you to them.
it's a dumpster fire.
On this podcast, we start by giving some basic details of the film we're covering, followed by each of our first impressions of the movie, then taglines, whatever we could find for the film, and just then take off, wherever our disconnected brains will carry us. Okay. So our movie is Puppet Master from 1989. Now you may wonder what this.
The hand is still attached to an arm. I hope.
It is.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Who knows?
Oh my God.
Reaching up over the side of the bed. Directed by David Schmoller, written by David Schmoller as Joseph G. Collodi.
And the rest of the Schmoller family.
Story by Charles Band, Kenneth G. Hall, and J.S. Cardone. Cast includes Paul Lamont, William Hickey, Irene Miracle, Jimmy F. Skaggs, Robin Freites, Matt Rowe, Catherine O'Reilly, Muse Small, and kind of a cameo from Barbara Crampton.
Yay.
Very small role.
Yeah.
This is a production company is Full Moon Entertainment.
Yay!
It was filmed in California at, I don't know, this is the Castle Green Hotel in Pasadena and the Mission Inn in Riverside. Filmed starting December 1st, 1988. Don't know how long the shooting schedule was. It was released direct to video October 12th, 1989. The budget, depending on where you look, is either $400,000 or $600,000.
Either way, cheap. Yeah.
Way cheap.
The synopsis: André Toulon, a puppet maker, one day discovers an old Egyptian formula able to create life and decides to use it to give his puppets life. The Nazis covet this knowledge, and in desperation, Toulon commits suicide. Some years later, 4 psychics visit a former colleague who suddenly commits suicide. Along with his widow, they uncover the secrets of the puppet master. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Most of the synopsis were terrible. I combined 2 or 3 and
Yeah.
edited it down to try to make it actually sound like a story.
That's okay.
But all right.
I'm sure the taglines are just going to be phenomenal.
Of course.
They will tell the story. Yes. So, and this one happens to be Crystal's pick. Surprise.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm sort of wondering why it took her so long to pick this, but okay.
I think because I had looked before and it wasn't on streaming for some reason.
Oh, okay.
I think this is not that I checked. I lost an earbud. Not that I checked every time, but oh, good. I might have to get it. Now I can only hear in one ear. Okay, hold on.
Sorry.
I apologize.
Of course she picked it. Look at her background. She's the puppet mistress.
I love Puppet Master, but so I have this blade, and I actually got this blade. I purchased it from Dave Freyer because he works with Full Moon. This is a different.
That's why whenever Crystal and Dave are talking together, it always goes to what's the cool Full Moon merchandise out there, and
they have really good stuff. Now this is not from this film, obviously. This blade version. This one glows in the dark though too, so it's actually really super cool.
Yeah, he's got that glow in the dark look.
Speaking of which, there is Full Moon has a streaming channel
Yeah, they do. I
Mhm.
forgot about that.
If you want to, and I'll explain this a little more, it's one of those ones you can get a 7-day free trial on, if you get it on Amazon or something
Ooh.
like that. So anyway, Crystal, I'm sorry. First
Oh,
impressions.
that's fine.
When did you see this?
Sometime as a kid, I saw this film. I don't remember when, but I loved Puppet Master when I saw it. I was like, I remember like being blown away by the puppets and like how they moved. And I love the concept of Leech, obviously, was my favorite. I was like, she's so cool because I thought she was
Obviously.
pretty. I thought she was pretty.
She is,
like,
really.
Yeah.
mhm. And so well, she's not the most formidable of the puppets for sure. She's pretty weak, actually, comparatively. I just found her so enjoyable. But this isn't my favorite Puppet Master, but it's the only one we could do because it's the only one
Yeah.
in the 80s. I think the third one is probably my favorite, but I think that this film obviously sets the vibe for the rest of the films. I don't know that any of these films were actually released to the theater, though. I don't think so. I mean, I wasn't able to see them. So
I think they were.
really? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that would have been cool.
I could have sworn, but maybe I'm wrong. I could be. Somebody will tell us.
But I love the concept of this. The whole idea of it is so cool. And I don't remember what captivated me so much about this, but just the idea that it was like your dolls and your puppets come to life. And I have always found marionettes. I love dolls. I have hundreds and hundreds of dolls in my bedroom. So like that's not an issue for me, but for some reason, maybe it was magic. I don't know what did it, but it was magic and partially something else. I don't know. Maybe Slappy partially, but marionette dolls really, Jack. I don't like them. I don't like them. Keep that away from me. So I'm gonna have to get over that. But unlike Chad, I don't have a problem with. It's a chia pet. Sorry, I had to. I love you, Chad. I love you, Chad.
I know.
He's so. Oh! Now I feel bad.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's like it's a thing. Chia pet. Say like you get a
thing doesn't bother me for some reason.
It grows all right here. Yeah, it's that. They have these right now at Barnes and Noble, and they're 30% off.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, for your Christmas giving wish list here. Anyway, yeah.
For more tips, go to Gothic Cottage.
That's right.
I love Puppet Master. I know that the quality diminished at a point. They kind of started getting cheesier and cheesier, but I still love them. This one is pretty serious. And the next one is pretty serious, but it's a totally different vibe. I don't actually know how the second one fits in with the first one, too, because the second one, I think they try to bring Toulon back to life, which is odd. And then when, they go into space, too.
Of course they do.
Yeah. I think it's his relative, like in the future. I don't know. There's so much to this that I love. I think it's cool. I think the puppets are so cool looking. Like, I want them all, really. They're just very expensive. But
alrighty.
Yeah.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
I hope y'all liked it.
If Chad had seen that before, and what were his impressions?
Oh yeah, I've rented this. Is how I first saw it when it first came out, and I loved it. The only thing I do not like is I cannot stand Paul LeMat. I've never been able to stomach him as an actor. He's just so bland and dull. I just can't. He's not a leading man type. He looks like somebody's gross uncle.
He does.
That's
true.
But anyway, but I love Puppet Master. I love the whole series. I haven't seen them all, but it didn't really. And I just always thought that they were what an odd collection of characters these puppets are, just odd. It's just odd and strange. You got the pinhead with the giant hands, supposed to be super strong. They've all got their little powers or whatever. I just thought they were cool and strange and weird, and I've liked them. William Hickey with his disgusting oldness. I think he was 30 in this
Yeah.
in this movie. I've never been able to stand him either. He's always been real creepy to me. But I love this movie. I love the story behind it. The series really didn't get interesting to me until they started going back in time and fighting Nazis and stuff like that. That's when it really delved into the backstory more, and that's when it got really interesting to me. But this one on its own is it's a typical 80s monster movies, monster slasher. And, and I love it. I still love it to this day. I love watching it, except for Paul Le Mat's giant helmet hair that he's wearing throughout the whole movie. But
that 80s volume, right?
Yeah. But it's not scary. I wouldn't say it's not that scary, but the story is. I like the story, and I like Crystal said. I like the concept of it, and everything is really cool. And so I still watch it. I enjoyed watching it this time. And that's all I got to say about that.
Okay.
I didn't know if I was supposed to give you some kind of signal going. I'm done.
Well, I'm going to be the skunk in the garden party here. I'm not really a fan. I'm not. Here's the thing. So I'm not a huge fan. I know I'm not a huge fan of Full Moon, but I think it's largely. It's just not of my time. By the time Full Moon came out, I had already kind of gotten into horror, and I had my likes and my dislikes, and there wasn't really. I didn't. If I'd seen this as a kid, I'd probably be a fan of all 14 of them. God help me. But so really, this is the first time I've seen it all the way through. I think I've seen bits and pieces of different ones. I can't keep them straight. And watching it, here's my thoughts. So Full Moon's productions, they're not low enough budget to have that Texas Chainsaw Massacre so low that it almost looks real. And they're not expensive enough to be like a slick Hollywood production kind of thing. They're kind of in the middle. They're not punk rock and they're not arena rock. They're just sort of Starship, just
see. I don't see this as being
any
different from Dolls. Like it's very much like Stuart Gordon's Dolls.
Yes, it is. But I think that the difference is, boy, okay. So like my favorite part of this movie is the early part, because I do think they should have been fighting Nazis the whole time. That's the best thing. Little Dolls versus Nazis is great. That opening sequence takes flipping forever. I get it. There's some little thing that's running along and breathing heavily, as puppets do, and look, now he's running some more, and here's some Nazis. They're walking, and they're the puppet. He's running, and then we cut to William Hickey. It's like, okay, that's interesting. Back to the running puppet. Nazis, boy, they're really not picking up the pace here. Let's come on, get to the point. It felt padded. And then once we get to the future, I'm like, finally, let's get some puppets here. I realized watching this movie, was there 5 minutes of puppets in this? I don't think when they made this, they realized just how good the puppets were going to turn out and how they completely overshadow everything else, which is a mistake I think they fixed in subsequent movies. It's, all puppets all the time. And then it's puppets versus demonic toys, at least giving the audience what they want. I wanted a lot more of the puppets. They were cool looking. They're really well designed. One thing I do like about Full Moon Productions, there is always room for a little bit of stop motion in there. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. But yeah, I wasn't enthralled with the lead character. He's an interesting actor. He's been in some really good stuff and then sort of disappeared, but definitely not leading man good looks. Maybe for radio.
I think his first film was American Graffiti.
Yeah, and Melvin and Howard was like, I think he may have gotten nominated.
I think he was really good at American Graffiti, but anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't given a whole lot to do here. I found the women characters more interesting than the men, but mostly I wanted more. The women character I wanted to see more of was the Leech Girl, and all of them. I want, what's the name of the one that you have, Crystal? The one with the knife.
Blade.
Blade. I wanted more Blade. I wanted more, just more of them. They were all kind of cool.
Tunneler is the one with the drill in its head, and then Chad mentioned Pinhead, which is funny because I think his hands are a real person's hands.
Yes. Oh, yes, they very much are. With a little tiny head. Those were cool. And the effects are they are what they are. They're I think they're pretty good. So
this is
I don't know.
Really low budget though.
It is
like 400. You realize most of the movies we watch are well over $1 million.
Right. And okay, so, it is well shot. The cinematography is good. The colors are bright and everything. But again, that doesn't really work for me. Dolls was also very low budget, but Dolls was moody and had just more of a fairy tale vibe.
Okay, fair enough with that.
And which, and Full Moon was not Trauma. As I've said, I'm not a huge fan of Trauma.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate that Full Moon kind of took the Trauma
but think
vibe
about this,
without being.
Dolls was $2 million.
Yeah, well, it shows. Yeah, it definitely shows.
So
and for 400,000,
not trying to defend it, but I'm going to defend it because for $400,000 to $600,000 tops, it's less than half the budget. Yeah. And it's I can't. I mean, is Dolls better? Yes. But I could defend this all day long at its budget.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. William Hickey is also kind of a creepy character, but I found him way more compelling than anyone else. So I would have liked to have seen more of him. And I do think they kind of fixed this as they went on. Again, I'd have to look at some of the other episodes and everything. Of course, they went into space. Listen, if a series goes on for 14 movies, at some point they have to go into space. Is there any series that's had that many movies that hasn't gone into space at least part-time?
Leprechaun did. Hellraiser did.
Godzilla did.
Jason.
James Bond, Fast and Furious. They've all gone into space. At some point, it's like, what's left? Where can we go now? It's like, well, space.
It's like the genre version of Jumping the Shark.
Yeah.
There's no Fonzie.
But I can definitely see, where people who saw this, especially at a young age, would be very fond of it. And clearly it did resonate. The other thing is you don't get 14 movies on a failed concept.
Mm-hmm. That's true too. Yep. For sure.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that's been crossing my mind. I think he's got a formula that makes him money. Mm-hmm. Don't spend too much on it. Plug the hell out of it on video. Yeah. Run your own streaming service. Run your own merchandising. So I'd never seen any of these before.
What?
No.
What the fuck? What?
No.
I'm shocked.
I never had. So you know what I do?
You binge
the
watched all
Blu-ray.
of them.
Yeah, I watched like the first 11.
Oh my God!
Well, then he's more of a puppet master.
That's true.
Than I am because it's been a long time for me.
He's the puppet master.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I'll tell you, people, there's like I think maybe the first 3, maybe 5 are on Shudder right now, and then there's another bunch of them that are on the Full Moon channel. Or I think you can buy them for a couple bucks on Amazon, but I didn't. But anyway, so this first one, having just went through this, I really loved the third one, Crystal. So I'm with you.
Okay, so
I thought that was great. The first one, it's okay. You're right. The puppets are pretty quick. They're not we don't see what they're doing to people as much. We see the kind of the aftermath, like Blade flings a knife across the Dana's throat, and she gags, and some blood trickles out. And then later we see her, and her whole throat's like
Yeah.
So, but I understand. That's the low budget. The thing about it is, I think that I love the puppets or the dolls or whatever. I guess they weren't dolls. No, they weren't dolls. They were. I liked them, and it's interesting that you bring that up because that was kind of the inspiration, I think. And there's some carryover there too, because Guy Rolfe is the puppet guy and dolls,
Toulon, yeah,
and he plays Toulon in I think starting with episode 3 for like 3 episodes or something. So I enjoyed it, and I'm sorry, Bill, but I loved the shots of the little guy running all over the hotel from the doll's point of view. I thought it was great.
I loved him too.
When he
Up
steps
to a
across the
point.
piano.
Cool running between people and all the timing, and everything. I just
How unobservant are these people? I mean, if a chipmunk were running around, in a hotel, I'd notice it as it just about runs into me. But no, these folks just go on their way, ignoring the.
Yeah, and in defense of Paul Lamont, I think he was playing a guy, like his thing was dreaming, right? Well, he plays a guy that kind of walks around in a daze most of the time, it seems like. He doesn't really say much until somebody comes and, he just follows everybody in. He does, he has this dream 3 times in a row of Megan coming to his door, to his door, or waking him up, telling him he's got to see something. So anyway,
I mean, it's not his fault. It's the way the character is written, but it doesn't make for a really compelling protagonist.
Well, the thing that bothered me the most was his hair. I just was like,
Yeah.
It was hard to get around.
Overwhelmed by the volume of the hair on that guy. So, anyway, I enjoyed it. I learned the puppets' names. I dived into the whole rest of it. I think I kind of follow the whole history of it. And there is stuff that takes place everywhere from like 1902 up till current times, and maybe a little bit in ancient Egypt, to explain things in flashback. So anyway, let's move on from there. And I think this is this is the time where we do
Taglines with Chad.
taglines with Chad.
Hey, that's what we should use instead of that.
Crystal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All righty.
These are going to be great.
All right.
Direct to video taglines.
I can already tell just by glancing at it.
One of Chad's pet peeves in the first 2. Same tagline, just switch out one word.
Okay, the taglines for Puppet Master are as follows. Killers come in all sizes. Tagline number 2, evil comes in all sizes.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Well,
Ice cream comes in all sizes. They are the masters of death.
wow.
That's on a German video.
That's no excuse.
Yeah. Until now, the dolls were toys. These are killers. Escape. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, right.
And that, I think, if I remember
No.
right, was on a Spanish one. And I'll tell you what, it didn't make any sense to me. So I decided escape was supposed to, because it said these are killers escaped. So I don't know.
Anyway. When evil manifests itself in every form, and you see how they put ... right there to drop down and do that for dramatic
That's
effect.
another translation that didn't quite translate.
We'll never
I don't
find
think.
out what evil manifests itself.
But this one is not a translation.
A box of little toys has just become a gang of little terrors. This is not child's play ...
Oh,
Don't you kind of like that one? I like
That's
that. It's
clever.
not-
shots fired. Ooh.
That's how you sell a movie, boys.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm sorry. That's brilliant.
All right. And that's
that
been
was-
Taglines with
taglines
Chad.
with Chad.
I like
I should just
I like
shut
that a
up.
lot better
I'll
than
just shut up
that.
from now on. You do it.
You have to record Crystal's saying that.
I should have got a recording
I
of
said
the
that I would create a song. I told
Yeah,
Jeff
do that.
like,
Yes.
a month
Do
ago.
it.
I said I'll make it's going to be small and simple, but just be
A jingle.
basic.
Yeah,
A little,
a little jingle.
jingle for
Little
Chad.
snippet. Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to do this just for my own gratification because I had to do this to figure out what the heck was going on with all these movies. So this is a table that was in Wikipedia.
Whoosh.
So I watched what did I not? I did not watch the crossovers and I did not watch the Legacy because all it is cut together clips from all of them to tell the story. The whole kind of give you the whole overview.
Yeah.
Did not watch Demonic Toys because that's a crossover, but I did watch Axis of Evil and Axis Rising, but I can't find Axis Termination anywhere. Lots of Nazi stuff in there.
Yeah. The Littlest Reich. Jeez.
And there's a character, kind of the lead male character, had polio and couldn't go into the service, and so that was like a running point all the way along.
The funny thing is, look how many people, screenwriter David Schmoller as Joseph Collodi, as Victor Sloan. Nobody wanted to admit that they did anything with this movie.
Even his pseudonyms wanted pseudonyms.
Well, and I take that back because I forgot. I had seen, I saw Puppet Master of the Little Reich. I saw that when it came out on stream.
Didn't we review that one? Yeah, we reviewed that one on Gruesome.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and listen to that. See how.
Or was it the Iron Cross? I can't remember which one it was.
Well, the Lilith Reich is the one I watched. I don't know if you guys. Anyway. All right. I'll just throw that up there. A bevy, a veritable bevy of directors, screenwriters, and producers. Although Charles Band is there most of the way. All right. So, what kind of posters do you have when you go straight to video?
You got the cover of the video.
That works for me.
That's not bad.
Yep. The evil comes in all sizes doesn't look as bad on the poster, but it's still, I love
Sometimes
the
it's
puppet
big.
case.
So we're sort of bandying about this whole Charles Band films and
the Ginger Dead Man,
Full Moon
Dr.
Entertainment.
Mordred.
Yeah.
I love Dr. Mordred.
I like
Dr. Mordred. You know the story of Dr. Mordred, right? Jeffrey Combs was supposed to be Dr. Strange. And Dr. Mordred was Dr. Strange. But Charles Band took too long to actually film it and start production that they lost the rights to Dr. Strange. So they figured they'd done too much. So it became Dr. Mordred. I think that's so interesting. But Jeffrey Combs would have been Dr. Strange.
Yeah, he could have been. Yeah, he would have been.
Would have been a good Dr. Strange.
Yeah, he would.
3D. I know.
Yeah.
Did you go to that, Bill?
I saw it. Yes,
I did. Doc went to the theater to see it.
There was a time when I would go see anything in 3D, and they took advantage of me and released a lot of crap on 3D.
Well, I got. I've seen all these Evil Bong ones out there, but
we almost did Parasite as a film, and then everybody watched it, and it was just so terrible in 2D. It was bearable in 3D.
Well, and we also found out they had done it before, and it wasn't.
Oh, that wasn't worth it.
It wasn't the kind of movie we were super fired up to do this.
Right.
Again.
Meridian.
Yeah.
That looks familiar, but I don't know.
It's a Skinamax classic. It's got it's got the woman from Twin Peaks, and she's
Sherilyn Fenn.
Yep, she's naked a lot of the time, and Trancers was pretty good.
I recognize that.
All I had to say was naked Sherilyn Fenn, and all of a sudden,
I didn't recognize her at first, but
Tim Thomerson did a lot of cool stuff from Full Moon. Doll Man, Trancers.
Yeah. Trancers, and some of those I appreciate. They're very much films. The reach exceeds their grasp, but I appreciate that more than I would say evil bong, which, the joke wears thin pretty fast. But they have their fans. I mean, because again, Evil Bongs had at least a few. And I do know some of the people who have worked on the effects. Listen, one thing I do appreciate about Full Moon is that it has allowed a lot of good practical effects people to strut their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When they could be doing just pure crap CGI, which I'm sure would be cheaper, at least some of their tiny budget actually goes to actual artists creating some neat little low budget monsters.
Yeah. Well, and David Allen did his company did all these puppets for all the way up to, I think, like around 9 or 10, I think.
And Full Moon has to get full credit for making sure that David Allen's Primevals finally got finished and got a release. So, there's some good karma there.
Okay. Well, so that's Charles Band, but Full Moon is like our cohort Dave, to be full up front, works for them and represents them at cons and I don't know what you would call those, the mid-continent area. But God, the merchandise they have it just goes on and on and on.
Mm-hmm. They've been great. They've been really clever at branding. Even if I don't really love all their films, I wouldn't mind having an Evil Bong doll. That's really neat, I mean, you don't have to actually love a film to love some aspect of it.
I agree.
Give me a God Monster of Indian Flats, action figure, and I'll be playing with that all day. So, but Full Moon has been very, very smart in cultivating. Listen, like you said, they have their own channel. I mean, you need a lot. You need a lot of product to have your own channel.
Well,
they pulled that off.
I read somewhere that they had put out as merchandise retro versions of the puppets, and they were so popular that they decided to make the movie Retro Puppet Master.
Wow!
They go back to the very beginning. Anyway, well,
they sell out. Those puppets sell out, and they're like hundreds of dollars, and they're awesome. Yeah.
So if you're looking for an investment, people, Puppet Master stuff.
Yeah, the director is.
Look at some of the cool things he was involved with here.
David
Tourist Trap. I love Tourist Trap.
Tourist Trap was great. And Crawl Space.
We haven't done that yet, have we?
Yeah, we have.
We did.
Yeah. Oh, it's a 70s.
We did. Okay.
It's a 79. Yeah.
Oh,
Crawl Space has, as you can see, Klaus Kinski. This poor guy, this director, worked with Klaus Kinski at his absolute nuttiest. And I think he made.
This is who he made Blade after.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
That's the guy. I don't think I've ever seen that. I didn't know who that was, but that's interesting. He does
played Nosferatu.
Right. And he was an awful human being and
that's unfortunate.
Terrorized everyone he ever worked with. I think this director made a short film called Please Kill Mr. Kinski about his adventures working with this madman.
That's actually really horrible, but funny. Come on. Yeah.
Netherworld.
Well, there was something later on where it says that the music was copied by. Oh, now I feel bad. I got to look. Who did the music for Tourist Trap? Is it Pino Donaggio, the Italian composer?
Usually I keep that information at the forefront of my mind.
Yeah. Well, it said much of the soundtrack is synthesizer arrangements of his music for Tourist Trap, but I went back and watched a few minutes here and there of Tourist Trap, and I see similarities. Like I would say it was inspired or modeled after maybe, but it didn't sound to me like it was the exact same music. But anyway, by Richard. Anyway, Tourist Trap, which is kind of similar. I'm starting to think Charles Band has a thing about puppets.
What? You think?
Well, I mean, Tourist Trap.
I don't know.
Tourist Trap.
Yes, yeah.
Dolls.
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm.
Puppet Master. Okay,
I
so
think
I'm
you're reading a
slow to the
little too
game.
much into this, Jeff.
So they
I'm
have
slow to
a
the
Jester. See, if I didn't have look at Jester, he's BA. He's 220, but worth it
Oh,
if I had the money. But worth it if I had the money.
the fancier they make them, huh?
He's
Well,
awesome. I mean, like they look good. They look good.
Maybe if our fans all chipped together, they could, like get Crystal a doll.
I would take dolls.
Yeah. Hmm?
Like Bill, I'm like, wait, what, Bill? I'm like, no, don't do it.
so the guy Bill and Chad are.
That's
look
the
at that
guy
hair.
they hate.
Look
right?
at that head. He looks like, he looks like Zardoz,
Who is he?
like the big
Honestly?
floating
Is
stone
he in
head.
something else?
That's something
That's
Jesse
kinda
from the Dukes
familiar.
of Hazzard right there.
Yeah. Just
American
a good old
Graffiti.
boy.
He was the
I don't remember.
guy
that movie.
with the white T-shirt that picks up Mackenzie Phillips.
I haven't seen American
Did he have his
Graffiti.
cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve?
Yes,
He was.
did.
Sorry.
Yeah,
He was in
cigarette
Melvin and
holder.
Howard. He played Melvin, like you couldn't tell.
Okay. See, I don't know any of these movies. Is there anything I might have seen him in? He does look familiar, other than this film.
He was in quite a few movies like this around this era.
Okay. But his hair it looks almost like the back part shouldn't belong there. Almost like a mullet. But it's
Ooh,
not a mullet because it's not all that short. But this part, I wish I could show you, like from like right there down. Why is that there? It looks like he has like a little extension on or something. It's weird.
So
let's
you
see.
say you haven't seen American Graffiti. I'm going to take
No.
a shot. Then you probably haven't seen more American Graffiti either.
No.
Well.
Well, he was in. I don't know how big a part it was, but he was in American History X.
Oh, I do love that film. But
I bet he didn't look like he does here, though.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
He
just
looks so
amazing.
Grave
so
Secrets.
hard.
He's got a bunch of these. Ray Bradbury Theater, Grave Secrets, Blind Witness, Veiled Threat, Twilight Zone, the 80s
Oh,
version.
that might
Parmesan
be.
cheese.
On the Hitchhiker TV series. Did an episode of that. Okay.
He looks like a doll himself or something, but it's weird. Like
All
right
right.
there, especially what's up with his makeup or something? Does it look too dark?
I
Like
don't know. He
it
probably
looks kind
is
of creepy.
getting his ass kicked by what's his name, Gallagher.
And he unfortunately won the 1974 Golden Globe for Most Promising New Actor, which is the kiss of death. That's like getting on the cover of Sports Illustrated. You're going to snap your femur like a
bad.
breadstick. Yeah.
Well, I think after American Graffiti, everybody thought, well, he's going to be the next big thing, you know.
He's going to be Harrison Ford before Harrison Ford.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
George
That's
Lucas
cute.
movie, yeah, it's going to be. This guy's going.
Well, that was for he got Most Promising Newcomer for American Graffiti somehow, and then Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Melvin and Howard, comedy or musical.
He's very good in Melvin and Howard. It's
that was a nominee. Won Golden Globe for Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role in The Burning Bed, which.
But the reason why he works so well in Melvin and Howard is that it was, that's based on a true life story about a regular guy, and he looks like a regular guy. So he was perfect for that role. The problem is most movies want you to be something else, and there's only so many movies where they're looking for a guy who's a regular guy. And of course, after you've been in a couple of successful regular guy movies, you're not a regular guy anymore. You're an actor who plays regular guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Well, I think they did pad this a little bit, like that, where he's having the dream, and he sees, and Megan comes and knocks on his door. They go through that entire thing, and then it's weird because she's like, wake up, come with me. I have something I have to show you.
The same, exactly. I know.
Yeah.
Let me put my shoes on. And then he turns around and saunters back in to put his, it just is not.
Yeah, it's moseying along this.
Moseying. And the other thing that bothered me in terms of time was that stupid big white room scene where they were dancing with the white mask on. That
Mhm.
I don't think it was all that long if I timed it, but it felt like it went on forever.
Mhm.
Anyway, it had its point. It
That's
did have
fair.
a point.
I will say this: I
It
did
was a
love the,
dream.
I did love the part where, to make sure that this guy was actually dead, someone stuck a needle into him. That's
Oh, I know. And,
That was
and through,
hardcore.
like deep into his, that was creepy.
And
I was
then
like,
was sticking her fingers all over it. After
Yeah.
stabbing her.
actually, that actually, she could be arrested for desiccation of a corpse.
desecrating
or
a corpse.
something.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Like what
Being
the
creepy.
hell? Like, and they just let her do it. I was like, no, that's. I guess we see they didn't actually explain to us what the background was, because
No.
I feel like there was supposed to be some crap that the lead dude did that we don't really have any knowledge of. That's really what they could have padded it with.
Well, that guy,
is-
he was the lead dude was a real. Oh, the lead guy, you mean, or the guy that was dead?
The evil.
Gallagher.
Gallagher,
Well-
yeah, he was nasty.
Gallagher
Yeah.
was the evil guy that was.
Yeah, who technically was the lead to me because
Gallagher.
he masterminded the whole thing.
Yeah,
Well,
He
we
another
was
find
guy.
good.
that out pretty quick because he, what is her name? Carissa has a vision of him having sex or raping, assaulting a woman in the elevator.
Yeah. He's got a creepy look. Boy, look at that
Oh,
face.
wow, does he?
I mean,
Yeah.
hey, what? You couldn't get Steve Buscemi? Yeah, get this guy.
Oh,
Skags.
this guy's way more normal looking than
Put that
Steve.
slimy guy
Come on.
makeup on. Come on.
Yeah.
This guy is more American Psycho. American
Yeah.
Psycho, not Psycho. Psycho.
Yeah,
what the
that'd be
hell?
cool too.
American Psycho than
He actually
Steve
looks more
Buscemi.
like Hannibal in that middle picture.
Mhm.
Mads Mikkelsen's Hannibal.
Well, his name.
It's funny
too,
how this little
uh,
tunneler guy can go around just jamming that drill into everybody, and then there's no blood on it ever.
No, it spins so fast it throws the blood off.
Teflon,
Yeah, that's what.
Teflon tunneler.
Yeah.
That's what they call
That's
it.
right. Where's
I'll
my
buy
no
it.
prize?
I don't know how
Teflon
much
blood.
other stuff he's been in either. He's got 78 credits.
I will say I like that tie. If all my fans want to chip in and get the tie, it's going to cost a lot less than Crystal's present.
Man,
That's
he
true.
comes up with the idea and then takes your legs out from under you, and
Yeah.
undercuts you.
Jimmy's in, that's a TV series. He did a couple episodes of Conan the Adventurer.
I don't remember his face from anything other than this.
He doesn't seem familiar to me, but I think he has one of those faces. If you look at his
One of those faces.
IMDb picture, you can't
Mhm.
even tell it's him.
No. So that's which is a good skill to have as an actor, that you
That's
look
good.
different when you're
Mhm.
filmed. But just for people keeping track, it's a chia pet for Chad and a doll for Crystal and a tie for me. But we're still got to figure out before this is over, our Christmas themed episode, what is the present for Jeff? Obviously not DVDs because he has them
I was
all,
about to
every single damn one of them.
I did not buy any Puppet Masters. I did not do
Maybe a DVD rewinder. Do you have one of those?
A DVD. That's funny.
that. I'm just looking here. He's played characters like Wino,
Wino.
drug dealer
Yeah.
number 1 in Lethal Weapon,
Oh, okay.
homeless
Drug dealer
guy,
number one,
and another one,
with the Christmas
man
tree
in
guys.
airport number 2.
Maybe.
He's a decent actor. It's weird that he's getting such little parts like that. It seems to me, but
Yeah, but at least he gets to what when people are trading. So what'd you do this year? I was in Lethal Weapon. Okay.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
alrighty. So that's Jimmy Skaggs. Then we go.
Jimmy
Sounds like a
Skaggs.
country music singer.
Yeah,
Really
I was like, oh, that's his name.
Irene
That's crazy.
Miracle. There's another.
See,
name.
yeah, okay. So here's the one thing: Jeffrey Skaggs needs to change his last name
Jimmy.
to something that's
Mhm.
to something way more cinematic, like Irene Miracle. That's an awesome name. That's
I liked her a lot. I
Yeah.
thought she
Me
was
too.
cool.
What
See-
happened to her? Like, that's curious.
I don't know.
What happened to her? She got beat up in a room. I think. Blade
elevator.
sliced her neck open.
in
Oh,
the
I mean
elevator.
I mean, her
Career.
career.
Oh, what happened to the person?
Oh my God, that's terrible. I feel awful. Oh. What happened to her?
Oh, what happened to her? She was in Midnight Express even. She doesn't have very many credits.
Okay,
No,
I guess
they
she-
seem it seemed to stop at 1996. Is she still with us? I hope.
Oh God, I would hope so.
I'll chance to say that she had the best role in this movie.
Yeah, and the best character.
Yeah,
The
it
best
was
character.
the most fun with the dog
Yeah,
too.
the whole fight with Pinhead and Blade.
Okay, here's the
I
good
was
news.
actually hoping she wouldn't die. Yeah, go ahead.
She
She's
is still
alive.
with us, and she has working behind the camera as set design, costume design, development, writing, co-producing, and producing. So she kind of
Oh,
phased
perfect.
out of acting, but stayed in the business, and that's
Good.
good. But she was really good in this, and she's in a Dario Argento movie. That shot on the bottom there, I found, is her in one that we'll have to do at some point, Inferno.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so here's another one. It said she was in Midnight Express. She was the famous scene in Midnight Express exposing her body to boyfriend Brad Davis through the Turkish prison office glass.
Wow.
That has become legendary, especially after being parodied by Jim Carrey and the Cable Guy.
That's right.
Mhm.
That is absolutely right. Wow.
But she had a nice. I thought, I'm not from there, but I thought I liked her Southern drawl, and it was slowed down a little, and it was kind
Well,
of.
she kind of had an in on everything. She kind of knew what was going on, and she no bullshit. She was just, these are dolls. Now I got to fight dolls. She was just cool about everything. I just love the character.
And she looks really different when she's in her, like, when she's in the scene with Barbara Crampton versus the second look. Like,
right.
She's
Well,
pretty.
She's supposed to be able to tell the
Oh yeah.
tell fortunes, but if she can, she's not really trying with Barbara Crampton.
I don't think she cared to really do her job.
Mhm.
I think she could.
Oh,
I think the point was she could, but
Yeah.
And Barbara Crampton was great in that scene.
Yeah. She's like, maybe I
always
will
great.
marry him.
Yeah, there she is.
Think you'll ever get a job?
Yeah.
You can look at that. He's never going to get a job.
No,
I mean, Barbara Crampton's barely in this movie, but any excuse to look up some pictures of her, she's great. She's just,
and she's really good at that, doing that little bit too.
Yeah, I kept thinking, well, this couple obviously is going to have something to do with the rest of this movie, and not so much.
That's it.
I forget what the credit says, but
she still looks exactly the same today.
Yeah, she
something
does.
something like thanks to Barbara Crampton or something. It was weird. It didn't say, it wasn't just a normal cast listing. It was something special about her.
Well, because this was after Reanimator and stuff, so she was kind of, she was known at least in the horror industry, I mean.
All right. Well, she has this little fortune reading thing. So
you know what? If I were doing this movie, I would have taken Irene Miracle and those two people, and they would have been the folks in the movie. And hair helmet man and all the others would have.
That might have changed the budget.
Yeah, it might have.
Yeah.
But the lead female was not great.
I agree.
Kind of not good.
No. I was going to say, I've never seen the movie in the top picture there. It looks like Pinhead's, it looks like Blade is a peeping Tom and Pinhead's head is like.
Oh, that's unfortunate. You're right. It just hit me.
Oh my God.
Damn. Wow.
Oh my God. And that look on Blade's face is hilarious.
If people are looking at this on their phones, it's probably too small to really make out what's.
Yeah.
Okay. Yikes.
So somebody explained the thing to me about the little spiky things that come out of his eyes.
I think
I don't understand it. What do you mean? As far as what about them?
I think when they pop out, he can see better or see something. I don't know. That's what I thought.
I couldn't, because they weren't always out, and I couldn't tell. It kind of seemed like they came out after he cut somebody up or something. But
I don't understand half of the stuff that he's
None of it. This guy can bring puppets to life, and he comes up with these really strange concepts, and I don't know. It's like, again, here's someone who has like an amazing power and uses it in a truly odd way.
Well, okay, so in like the second one, Toulon already has a puppet that looks like Blade that gets set on fire, but then someone's
and it's like, Pinhead, what do you do? I'm Blade's penis.
It is. Pinhead is weird to me. Yeah, like, because I don't understand why he would build one like that.
Yeah, why did
you? Hands. But I mean,
he's
cool.
a big, strong guy with little head. And there was a dwarf woman that did the hands.
She got man hands.
Yeah, don't you think it's a good thing they couldn't talk, because Pinhead would be like, "Why did you do this to me? Why did you make me like this with a tiny little head and your giant hands?" I ran out of clay. I did the hands, then I ran out of clay. All that was left was just a little tiny bit for your head.
Robin Freites, who played Megan, Mrs. Gallagher, had 19 credits. Most of them 89 to 95. And there's no other information about her.
Blade's a good-looking character. Blade's
a
cool.
Yes.
It all comes together. The bony whiteness, the eyes,
and how he's like carved. See how he's carved and how the light reflects off of it. It's very
definitely the most popular one, I think.
Hook and a knife.
I do wish mine was the hook version. Because mine is the knife and the injectable
syringe.
Syringe. Thank you. Hello. But yeah, the standard is so cool. He looks sick.
Yeah. So we also have what do you got here? More Blade,
because he's cool.
Jester, though, look at Jester, how his head spins, and
I love that.
It's so cool. Yeah, he's beautiful.
And that leech woman. I don't know who was making those noises, but that was. You didn't even need to be able to see what was going on. It just grossed you out with the whoever was doing the voices or the voice.
Those look less like leeches and more like the shit weasels from Dreamcatcher, Stephen King's Dreamcatcher.
Wow!
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Oh, that was great when she climbed up on top of that guy. And Blade's holding his mouth open with his hook. They got into it.
Bad way to go. I always like it in these movies where you got one guy, someone's tied up, they're having some crazy fun sex games and everything, and then there's a knock at the door, or you're whatever, and the woman starts screaming, but she doesn't think to take the guy's blindfold off, or maybe untie at least one arm. It just dies and leaves you hanging.
Well, they all had plenty of like even Megan. I don't know, she got Teresa. I liked her. I like that character. The maid or the assistant.
Yeah.
She had that Betty Boop voice.
Yeah. She reminded me a little bit of Yeardley Smith, is it?
Yeah.
But she didn't last very long. She's gone halfway through the movie.
Look at these two on the bottom. It's like, Pinhead, let's go over your mother issues.
Then he pulls his head off.
Oh yeah.
They take a lot of beating and come back.
I like the way they go all Toy Story. When you throw them on the ground, they just lay there.
Like they yes. Like
people keep doing that. They're being attacked by these dolls, and all they do is they take them and they fling them away like that's going to hurt them. No.
I'd be yanking heads off.
Be stomping on them. Yeah, I do like what I did to. I do what I did to my Stretch Armstrong doll. Tie him to a tree and then to the bumper of a car. It turns out there is a limit to how far Stretch could stretch. And we exceeded it. Yeah.
All right. So, you guys have any, I don't know, like favorite scenes or anything?
I like Leech. I mean, I
Leech.
like
The leech woman.
when the dog comes back to life. That's cute.
Yeah.
That was cute.
Yeah.
So what was
It's
the point
still-
there? So she
I don't
actually had the power.
understand. Yes,
She got the
she
magic
does.
from her husband.
Yeah, she
Mm-hmm.
does. But here's the question. Did she learn how to do it because she found all of his stuff, or did she have it before and plan it all? I don't know what the implication is.
They found his diary or whatever,
Mhm.
whatever it was. So at some point, I think between then and there, she maybe learned, or maybe she knew where they were the whole time and she had been reading them.
You know, it isn't like they had 14 movies to explain this, but
Right.
Oh, they
right.
do.
They
do
do.
explain it.
Oh, they do.
But
Oh, okay.
they don't explain it for her. I mean,
Right.
this is just one portion.
Right.
She
They
never,
explain
as far as I
Toulon
could tell, she
more
doesn't show up again.
Yeah, they don't. They explain from Toulon's
Mhm.
perspective more
Mhm.
than in the puppets too. You know, like actually if I remember, Toulon's wife, isn't she the one that's in Superman 3 or something? The woman who plays
From-
Toulon's wife.
In
Yeah.
like 3, you mean?
Yep.
She gets shot by the Nazis.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it's the
she?
chick from it is the chick from Superman
Okay.
3 or whatever. The one with Zod.
That's
What are
That's
the?
two.
Okay. Okay.
2, whatever. I'm sorry. I love Superman, but I can't remember all that shit.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
like,
not a
no,
nerd.
it starts to all run together for me. Like,
Right.
so do these. That's why I'm like, I can't remember when you have all these movies. I'm sorry. The people who can actually care enough to actually memorize that and know it all, I'm like, no, you need to get a life for real.
Oh, wow.
Like, I don't care
Well, the
that
thing
they
that
remember
makes-
the story, but to actually like, come on, it's too far.
You're describing Jeff right now.
I'd laugh at those people, but I can tell like which Godzilla movie we're talking about by,
Right,
the
right.
suit.
That's what
Yeah.
like people with look, I love Chucky. I freaking love Chucky. But if you lined up all the damn Chucky puppets and dolls they use, I could not pick out which one was from which movie. Sorry, but they can.
right,
Other people
Oh,
can.
they can.
They're like, oh, that's Chucky from
Well, you can tell because it's got 3 freckles on his earlobe instead of 2. Like, wow.
I
The
mean,
well-known
Jason-
Chucky movie, the best.
like Jason makes more sense because let's be real, like he does look different, like with the bag, and I can get that. That makes more sense. But like Chucky to me still looks like Chucky. Does he have red hair and is he a little doll in the same freaking overalls? There you go. That's it. That's
He
it.
really should look the same. It's not like, well, the
Yeah,
puppet who played Chucky is getting older and
exactly.
put on some weight.
Oh, well, you haven't seen the series, have you? Oh,
No. Oh.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I've not seen it.
It's so good, y'all. It's so good. It's so funny. Like, I highly recommend it. Like, Jeff wasn't a Chucky person until he started watching the series.
I did
And
the same
then-
thing with that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Is
watched
Meg
all
Tilly
the Chucky
involved?
movies before we did the series.
You mean Jennifer Tilly?
Jennifer Tilly, yeah.
But Meg Tilly is also in the Chucky series as
Oh.
well. Her sister. But yeah, Jennifer's in it. Mhm.
Perfect casting.
Yep. So it gets kind of funny, actually.
I'll give it a shot.
You'll love it. I think you'll love. I mean, Sean loves it, and he doesn't hardly watch anything. So, yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, I tend to do that. I did that once. Well, that was for a different podcast that I was on for a very short period of time before any of the doc stuff. But we did the entire Halloween franchise before this last trilogy.
Yeah.
So I watched all 10 plus the 2. I think there was 10 of them, or maybe it was 10 altogether plus the 2 Rob Zombie ones. Yeah, in a weekend.
Oh, wow. I did the same thing for another podcast. We did Halloween, and then we did the Friday the 13th franchise. And much to my surprise, Friday the 13th was a more enjoyable franchise than the Halloween one was, because the drop off from 1 and 2 to everything that followed was just so precipitous, as opposed to Friday the 13th that kind of starts about here and stays about there. So, you know, a few dips and a few rises, but mostly steady.
Yeah. Agreed.
Same with Nightmare on Elm Street. Same with I did it. Same thing with Friday the 13th. I watched them all like, I don't know, a couple months ago actually. Anything else to say here? I got nothing else to say. I'm glad I started watching these, Crystal. You got me to whip through them. I love the Nazi ones. Those are the parts I like. I agree with whoever, I think Bill was said that. I love the Nazi parts at the beginning of this. And then we flash forward 50 years to all these psychics that, you know.
Yes.
By
They would
which
stay in this house and all get killed off in the first night. You know?
Obviously, people at home, what Jeff means is we love watching Nazis get killed. It's not like we like Nazi stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Oh, everyone's looking to be offended by something.
Not I. All right. Nothing else. We will move ahead. We got feedback.
Feedback. Yay.
We got some feedback. All right.
Let's see.
Let's start with.
Yeah, hold on. I've got it. Okay. I've got it. Robert or Gregory Crosby.
Yes, Gregory Crosby first.
Okay. Terror vision. I strongly second that emotion.
Yes.
We need to look on the off places because it's not streaming anywhere. So it may be on YouTube, it may be on archive.org or Daily Motion.
But Just Watch does show you YouTube too, usually, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No,
it doesn't.
Only the fee ones, I think.
Well, we'll have to check it out because would our viewers ever steer us wrong?
Of course they would. But that doesn't mean that I won't be steered wrong. I'm fine.
That's right. You'll love it anyway.
All right, then we have one from Robert Baker. Bill, you want to take that one?
Sure. Since this was supposed to have been based on a legend, maybe they should have shown us that time period first instead of the modern setting. That way, this could have been Nomads Part 8, and then we would have understood everything. Maybe.
Yeah.
Robert Baker is a fairly recent contributor, I think, although I think he's been locked into the podcast for quite a while, but appreciate him making comments.
I agree, though.
That's a good point.
It's like maybe at Part 8, maybe.
Maybe I still wouldn't ever watched any of them.
Oh God!
For the podcast.
Maybe we need a series.
No, we don't need that.
Okay, episode 247, Return to Horror High, which just came out 3 days ago. Crystal, you want to take that first one?
Sure. At Daniel Garcia, US 70F, this film is terrible. At least it is not as bad as Troll 2.
Wow.
I don't know about that. I don't think
the standard here.
I liked it. I liked Return to Horror High, so I'm a problem here. But I get why people would see. Look, I get why people would see most 80s movies are terrible. Honestly, I just like them. So I'm not going to defend it too hard. Now I will defend it against Bill because I'm like, Bill, you like some pretty terrible stuff.
That's true.
So
yeah.
So we all do.
People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones at Puppet Master.
We actually are trying to make all of those terrible, disgusting, out of taste movies become popular again.
That's they. I think they do get their day. Let's think of this, like Sleepaway Camp. Look how popular it is now.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. I mean, it's
a whole new generation of kids and people are watching these movies now.
Yep.
And love it.
I'm probably not all that shocked with the final scene anymore.
Oh, they are though. They are because they never see anything like that. That would never be made now.
Oh no, that's true.
This would never be made. Like they're shocked because that is always going to be shocking. I think because they give you no indication. As long as you go in blind and you don't know what's going to happen, I think that is always going to be shocking.
Yeah, plus that iconic look on her face.
Right.
Yeah.
That was just scary.
Which she plays to the hilt
God, I
Mhm.
love her.
everywhere
Mhm.
in almost
Oh,
every
yeah,
program
yeah.
she's been.
That's absolutely, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we have one from Jerry Chandler, a short one.
What?
Bill,
He must not have been feeling well that
This
day.
is about Return to Horror.
Return to Horror High. Jerry Chandler says, "This is just such a weird, goofy, fun movie. Not a favorite of mine, but always watchable when it's on. Enjoyed the discussion. Admit it. Chad isn't here because he did a Sinbad again and watched Rock and Roll High School by mistake."
I did see this movie, even though I wasn't here for the show, and I prefer to watch Rock and Roll High School.
Oh yeah, me too.
What? This movie is, y'all are crazy. This movie,
It was. I thought it was clever.
yeah.
And it had some funny bits in it, and but it was. I by no means did I think it was a good movie. And I would never watch it again. Only where I would watch Rock and Roll High School.
Yeah, no, it's got good
around the
bits, but
clock.
bits add up to a nice 15 minutes of film, and then there's a lot of
Mhm.
chunks that aren't. So
Well,
Y'all don't know what you're talking about. That's all.
I'll have you know I'm a professional.
I had fun with it. I'm going to read this one.
All right.
From Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf about Return to Horror
Yeah.
High says, "I thought I was the only being on the planet who remembers full eclipse."
Yay!
3 exclamation points. And I have a soft spot for Howling 6.
Oh,
Yay!
God.
Big
Mhm.
virtual hug for Crystal. Yay.
I'm telling you, y'all,
No,
it's good.
No, quiet.
Yes, it's good.
Quiet
It's-
down.
did you see that one? The circus for like it's the circuit. The
Yep,
freaks
seen
or-
that one. Hated it.
It is. It is
Mm.
There
practically
are
a
no
masterpiece.
there is no such thing as a Howling sequel.
yeah,
It
They're
there
just-
sure is.
this is why we
There
love
sure
Crystal,
is.
because every time a Howling movie came out, she's like, "Oh boy, this one's got marsupials." She and she
Yes,
kept
I
that
love the
enthusiasm.
marsupials. Yes, that one is good. But this one is better. 6 is better because the whole circus thing and Bruce Payne, and then I can't believe he knows Full Eclipse either. Full Eclipse is freaking awesome, y'all. If you like werewolf movies,
I have no idea what that means. Oh, it's a werewolf movie. Okay.
Mhm.
But Crystal says it's freaking awesome.
As long
I
as
just,
they don't call it
and
the
you
Howling
know.
8.
it doesn't put me in. I don't get an immediate picture because there's. All right. Lone Wolf goes on.
It is a high quality film. Okay,
okay.
I will tell you.
Unlike
I-
every
I-
movie
I will
after
seal
the
of
first one
approval.
that called itself
I
The
looked it
Howling.
up. And it's another one that's a little tough to find.
Mhm.
Oh, that's too bad.
Lone Wolf goes on. Yes, I remember first watching Return to Horror High back in the mid 90s, and I thought it was pretty funny and stupid with a capital S.
Yes.
It was cool to see Brendan Hughes, and I agree with Bill that Maureen McCormick was the best part of the film.
She
It's
was
hilarious to see the squeaky
Mhm.
clean Brady's do other roles outside of television. Even then, she still had that cute face, and I was waiting for a football to come out of nowhere. Laugh out
Oh
loud.
my god, that would have been hilarious.
That would have
That
been
would've-
great.
Yeah.
George Clooney is further proof that horror is a gateway to the big time. Other examples are Kevin Bacon, Johnny Depp,
Mhm.
Jennifer Aniston, Mariska Hargitay, and even Kristen Davis from Sex and the City. Now,
Let's
what was
be real.
Mariska
Jennifer
Hargitay?
Jennifer Aniston had it worse. Leprechaun, come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Woof.
What was Mariska Hargitay in? I'm going to have to look that up.
I don't know,
Um,
actually.
She was in.
I don't really know much of what she's been in anyway.
Wasn't
I
she
know
in
her.
The Mist?
Her dad was in some bad stuff, but I don't know.
Wasn't she what?
Wasn't she
In
in
The Mist? Dear
Am I
God.
thinking-
I love The Mist. I don't remember her in it, but
Maybe I'm thinking of some other.
I don't.
Oh, she was in Ghoulies.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Tragic.
I was thinking
Yeah.
of some other.
Tragic. That's a good
She's
one.
been pretty. Well, that's not entirely true. She's done some other stuff.
Mhm.
I was going to say pretty stuck in the Law and Order thing there for the last
Oh, that's the
long
show
running
she's in.
character.
Yeah.
She's been playing that character for 25 years, 500.
Dear
Mhm.
God. I've never seen a single episode. Yeah.
Oh, I have. I've
It's probably good.
Jeff owns
but-
the all seasons on DVD.
I do not.
He's like,
despite
lies.
what you may think,
You sit on a throne of lies.
Yes. Mhm.
Although I'm having a great time binge watching the new Babylon 5 Blu-ray. That is what a great show.
Yes.
Okay. And it's only $36 for 5 seasons, over 100 episodes.
That's a good buy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very good buy. Let's see. Did I finish with Lone Wolf? I don't think I did.
No, you did not. There's one
Return
more.
to Horror doesn't handle meta as well as Jason Lives, but it's still good for the
I agree.
laughs. Watch it with a few friends. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. We did.
Yes, thank you.
You did too, Lone Wolf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy
hope
holidays.
all the Grue believers are having a great holiday. This will go live on December 25th.
And we'll see you all next year.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
After this, yeah.
Oh,
that's
yikes.
crazy. 2024.
Yeah, so
yay.
appreciate it. Thanks, Lone Wolf, Daniel Garcia, Jerry Chandler, Gregory Crosby, and Robert Baker. We appreciate it greatly. Plenty of ways to stay in touch. You can make comments on the Gruesome Magazine YouTube channel or send feedback to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com, or you can leave comments on Gruesome Magazine's HNR and DOH podcast Facebook group, or even on the website at gruesomemagazine.com. And
certainly can, Ollie.
If you feel like giving us a Christmas present, you could sign up for our Patreon for Gruesome Magazine, in which case you would get Decades of Horror within 2 days of when we record it. And that's usually around 12 to 14 days before it goes public. So advanced. That's it for this episode, but every 2 weeks we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1980 and 1989. Next up is one chosen by Chad. Oh dear, what has Chad done?
Oh gosh.
The Beast Within from 1982.
Oh.
Yikes.
You're welcome.
Interspecies rape. That's all we can say.
There we go.
Yeah. Great.
It's no street trash, but
that's not much of a shock. It's the 80s.
And
They're
actually,
so
that's
and it's
currently on Tubi.
And it boasts one of the most dramatic transformations in the history of horror movies.
I bet that's a tagline.
That was a tagline.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's a lie.
Live up
to
the tagline.
You bought the Blu-ray? He bought it.
I did.
Of course he did.
Of course he did.
He must have bought it like
because you know what? When I die, my family's going to go through my Blu-rays and go, "What the?"
You know what they're going to do? They're going
to distract them from your Google search.
They're going to load them up in boxes and dump it in a library or something.
That's right.
Well, I would think they'd be like, they got to contact one of us and say,
"Oh yeah,
you want them?" Yes, we do.
And I'll be hopping into my car and driving out.
You're going to probably outlive me, Jeff.
That's true.
I don't know about that, but anyway, I appreciate everybody's picks. Chad, I am kind of looking forward to this. We've talked about this many times as being a
video nasty.
Yeah, there we go.
It's got a lot of cool actors in it, and
it does. It does. So, folks, I don't know what else to say except catch us again here in 2 weeks for another great horror movie of the 1980s, as only Decades of Horror can do it. Merry Christmas and say good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night,
everybody.
Oh my God.
Gruesome Magazine.